The block is hot. Joe Ranieri. I'm Donnie Rightside, and away we go. Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. The topics over the next half hour include the WNBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and much, much more, Joe. Invest your money wisely here. The name of the game in the stock market. Come on, man. Don't be buying high and selling low. Do it in reverse. Make that profit. Get in, get out, get paid. How about that?
That's what it's all about, Donnie. Great opportunity for hedging, and not only hedging, Donnie, but also the opportunity here to kind of give yourself a few outs with these championship series coming up. NHL tonight and the NBA starting tomorrow. So it's not too late to do just that, Donnie. Buy low and maybe sell high before it's all said and done.
Exactly. We like this. We win it every other night, Joe. So we always have something championship-wise to watch on our here, and it starts tonight as we go to the Kalshi Marketplace. The Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. 8 p.m. start from Raleigh, North Carolina. And the favorite tonight, it's not a surprise. It's a team that's only lost one time so far in these playoffs, and that's the Carolina Hurricanes as the favorite, listed at 58% to win game number one. Take a look. You can also get into the metrics of will they win by 2 goals or not. But simplicity, Joe, if they win tonight, that contract listed at 59 cents. So a $100 investment pays back 170 if the Hurricanes are going to take a 1-0 series lead tonight, Joe.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, Vegas is by sweeping Colorado, which is just unthinkable here, Donnie. They've given themselves, well, a lot of time off. I mean, a week-long layoff now. After that sweep. And listen, when we usually get situations like this, we see, you know, the pause is good to get healthy, but it also kind of slows teams down a little bit here. So it's going to be advantage Carolina at home, but I still think the goaltending is going to be the story here. I think Carter Hart, outstanding, unbelievable playoffs thus far, and what he did to, you know, Colorado, that offense there, unbelievable. So I am not expecting this to be some sort of high, crazy shootout. I think this is going to be very methodical. I like Carolina to win the game, but I also think if you're expecting 5-4, I don't think we're getting it in this game. I think this is going to be a much lower scoring affair. I'd look at the unders here tonight.
Watch out for that penalty kill tonight from those Carolina Hurricanes, man. Yeah. Tough to get through. Good hockey teams on both sides. And Torts and Carter, if they win it, Flyers fans, look the other way. Let's get over to the WNBA tonight, Joe. And we're going to take a look at a game between the Sun and the Dream. 7:30 Eastern start. And you want to talk about favorites? You got one here. Take a look at this graphic. Currently trading with a chance of 89% to win this game outright. It's Atlanta. Connecticut, looking to move town next year to a new city. They're 11% chance to win this game. But if you feel somehow, some way, the upset can be pulled here, Joe, a $100 investment on the Connecticut Sun pays back $910.
Yeah, I mean, the best team in the East versus the worst team in the East, Donnie. Two teams in organizations heading in the opposite directions here. Now, obviously, you don't want to, that kind of price there is absurd. Yes, the Atlanta Dream should be the favorite, and they should be this big a favorite. Yeah. But I would rather go into the points market, Donnie, simply because Connecticut right now is the lowest scoring team in the league. They only average around 75 points a game here. Atlanta loves to go up tempo. Atlanta loves to score. Angel Reese starting to get it going here. Coming off an 18-point, 12-rebound, 5-assist game. I think maybe a team total under for the Connecticut Sun might be in order tonight.
Let's go to Ball Holla tonight, Joe. Fire and the Valkyries from Golden State. Another heavy favorite here for Golden State. They're listed at a 74% chance to win this game outright. Portland, the Fire, only 26%. But if you take a look on the lines themselves, if you feel Golden State can cover the 10.5-point spread here, Joe, a $100 investment is plus money, and that pays back $228. Another heavily favored team. This time it's Golden State at home.
Yeah, it is. No Kelsey Plum here, I believe. I'm sorry, wrong game there. It's the Valkyries here tonight and the Portland Fire, two teams that it's 2 games over 500 for them both here. Portland Fire, nobody really knew what to expect. Expansion team, they're actually pretty good, Donnie, but what neither of these teams do very well is play defense. So I think the total is the way to look in this one. Unlike the Connecticut Sun, who can barely score, these two teams can score here. So I would absolutely look at the total market, and I might even ladder it up here a little bit, about 4 or 5 points.
Aces on the road in LA. Third game we'll talk about here at 10 o'clock start in the WNBA. And once again, a heavy favorite here. It's Las Vegas on the road at a 73% chance to win this game. If you're looking at Los Angeles to pull that upset, it's 27 cents to the yes contract, which means a $100 investment pays back $371. But once again, if you're looking to play this game, you say, I want a little bit of plus money, and I think that Vegas can go on the road and win by double digits. That yes contract, Joe, is 44 cents, which means a $100 investment pays back $228 there. How about that?
Yeah, Becky Hammond, by the way, I think recently the second fastest WNBA head coach to 150 wins. It helps when you have Asia Wilson there, who will no doubt be ready to roll. But this is the third time they've met here, Donnie, I believe, in the first 9 games. The Aces won the first one, 105-78. That was on the road. The Sparks ended up getting them 101-95 in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Are you sensing a trend with the point scoring here? Yeah, the Sparks will not have Kelsey Plum tonight. Asia Wilson will be there for the Vegas team. Call me crazy, Donnie. I'm not looking for defense. I'm looking for points, and I think we're going to get a ton of them tonight.
I don't know if we're looking at too much offense here between the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Diego Padres in Major League Baseball. Tonight, this game's 6:40 p.m. Eastern from Philadelphia, but Vasquez, he could be hit around. Nola, he could be hit around. But then we take a look at this game. The Philadelphia Phillies are the favorites on the Kalshi Marketplace, Joe, at a 54% chance to win this game. San Diego at 46%. If you're looking at the team totals in this game, the Phillies are listed at 4.5. The Padres at 3.5, but the total runs scored 8.5, which means 9 runs it takes to take the over. And if it does, a $100 investment is a little bit plus money, Joe, at $209. Phillies and the Padres tonight from Philadelphia.
2 offenses, Donnie, over the last couple of weeks that can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. Both ranked number 29 and 30 against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. Not good here, but we just saw this, did we not? This matchup here with Vasquez and Nola out west. Now the Padres are going to, and Nola actually, by the way, looked pretty darn good in that one there. Now he gets to come home. I think, though, that they turn it around. I like the direction the Phillies are heading. I think Nola sleeping in his own bed. I think he's going to have another good night. I like the Phillies to get it done here tonight. Doesn't mean I think there's going to be a ton of runs scored, though.
Go Phillies. Well, at least that's what I'm rooting for tonight. How about the Guardians and the Yankees? You want Cam Schlittler on the mound? That's the guy you need right now. Looking to win a Cy Young there in New York. Well, they're the heavy favorite tonight going up against those Cleveland Guardians. Joe, taking a look at the chance to win, it's listed at 68% for the New York Yankees. The underdog Cleveland Guardians at a 32% chance. If you say, you know what, that price is a little bit high, Joe, just like sports books in the Kalshi Marketplace, you can take run line, which means if the Yankees win this game by over 1.5 runs, which again, win by 2+, a $100 investment, you're actually still paying a little bit of juice, Joe. At a $100 investment pays back $197. Yankees expected to dominate tonight in the Bronx.
Yeah, and listen, Cantillo's been nice for the Guardians, but the Guardians right now, they're number 28th over the last couple of weeks against right-handed pitchers, and this might be the best one that they have ever faced in Schlittler tonight. So I don't see a ton of offense coming from the Guardians. The Yankees, on the other hand, have been crushing lefties, Donnie, and that's what Cantillo is, and the Yankees alone could go over the 7.5 total for this game by themselves. I think the home runs are coming tonight. I also think the over might not be a bad look.
If you think home runs are coming, look no further than the Judge, Aaron Judge, tonight, a 27-cent contract to the yes if he hits a home run, Joe. A $100 investment on that would pay back $371. Woo. That'll do it here for the opening segment on PME. Next segment, Joe, we're going to the NFL. What a surprise. The topics, they continue to flow. Join us right after this break.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like 2, like, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let me understand this, Joe. Are we going to have any broadcast games on TV anymore? It's all streaming?
You got to pay to watch here, folks. That's just the way it's going to be, one way or the other. And I'm sure this will satisfy, the FCC looking into the coercion that's going on here with the NBA NFL broadcast rights. Yeah, this is all par for the course, I think.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's all these idiots out there sounding off on Tiger right now. See, it's so easy to go after a guy that's hurt. He's hurt. Whether you call it whatever you want. He's got a little bit of an issue that he's going to fix. Okay? They're attacking. Attack. Why don't you all shut up and let him go do his thing? He had to leave the country to do it because of privacy? That's nauseating to me.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
PME right here on TEL. Let's get to the NFL because the news yesterday was shocking. The A.J. Brown news to the New England Patriots. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Not so shocking here. We thought that was going to happen. What we didn't think was going to happen, that Myles Garrett also would be traded on June 1st. And the place he was traded to, the Los Angeles Rams, Joe, going all in. So if we take a look at the Rams on the Kalshi marketplace and their win total for 2026, you are paying an absolute premium here. And as I scroll down, Joe, you're actually $100 investment to get 12 or more wins. Doesn't even give you back $200 even. You're paying a little bit here at a $189 price point now, Joe. The sky is the limit, it feels like, for the Rams. But we know injuries and a long season do play into it. Sure, they might do some damage. But I don't know if I want to pay technical juice on a 12-win season, Joe. But those are the expectations.
Yeah, and the problem is, Donnie, at this point in the game, there is no value in backing them to go over this number here. I mean, it's a long season. There's no reason to jump in now. What I would hope for is maybe a early season loss, Donnie, something along those lines that you can jump in at a better number. But this is not a market where I'd say, yeah, run in. You either fade the Rams win total at this point or you wait till the season starts and maybe they get a early loss or two along the way and you can jump in at a better price. I do think they're a long-term bet that you have to consider for ultimately winning everything. But, at this price, Donnie, there is no value in them.
No value here, but value sometimes, Joe, in the eye of the beholders. You take a look at the Cleveland Browns. Do you expect expectations to be higher? No, they're going to be lower when you trade away your best football player. But you got a good pass rusher back. You got some future capital. Does that translate into wins this year? And also remind ourselves, a new head coach coming in and a new regime. If you look now, 7+ wins is currently at 42% now for the Cleveland Browns. A yes contract is 42 cents. The no is 61 cents. I don't think Cleveland, to be honest, Joe, is getting 7 wins this year, nor do they maybe want to get that. So a no contract, which means 6 wins or less, $100 investment pays back $164. I don't have high expectations on the Cleveland Browns, meaning I don't think they're going to be anywhere near 500 this year, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think it's rebuild mode. I think that's how they're approaching it here. I think they'll be competitive. I also don't think the AFC North, Donnie, is going to be some sort of juggernaut, although it does look like the Ravens are still priced at about 11.5 wins this season. But I still think that, getting to 500 is going to be a monumental task for the Browns. I still think fading. And now, again, even with Myles Garrett, Donnie, what'd they win? 6-7 games? It's to expect them to do better without him. I just don't see it here.
Jared Verse, 25 years old, very good pass rusher here. He comes back, so you have a viable component even after losing back on Myles Garrett. But the quick turnaround could happen, Joe. Look at 2027, the draft picks here for the Cleveland Browns. 2 1s, a 2, a 3. Looks like 3 4s, 2 5s, and a 7th here. You can start that rebound, but as we know, Joe, you need the quarterback to catapult it. Could it be Shador? Could it be Dylan Gabriel? Do you ever rebirth that quarterback from a player you traded for and gave a couple of $100 million in Mr. Deshaun Watson? But maybe, Joe, it happens sooner than later.
Listen, you got to have the assets, right? You got to have the capital in order to be able to do it. The biggest question mark here, Donnie, with the Browns is the same question mark it's been for the last 30 years. You have to find a quarterback you believe in. So whether that means now it's going to happen in what is going to be the most quarterback-rich draft we have seen in a very long time, whatever that may be, if it's Sanders, whatever, but you're going to have to find one. And before you do, Donnie, you can't really rebuild without building with that first block, which we all know has escaped them over the last 30 years, is finding that franchise quarterback.
Exactly. The team to make the first overall pick in 2027 in the draft. This is an interesting one here. The yes contracts, Joe, will tell you. Arizona at 36 cents. Miami also at 36 cents. The New York Jets at 34 cents. Vegas at 30 cents. And Cleveland at 28 cents. But you know, as the best chances listed here, Kansas City at 45% and Pittsburgh at 40%. Now, what are we dealing with here? A knee injury to Patrick Mahomes, which looks like he's getting healthier and should be there week number 1, and Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers. Could these seasons completely go sideways and they tank out to get their future started? Those are interesting numbers, but the prevailing wisdom is bad football teams stay bad. Miami, Arizona, New York, and the Las Vegas squad here, which again, Las Vegas just drafted their future quarterback. Would they still bottom out with Kirk Cousins? Interesting look for the Raiders here.
Yeah, it is an interesting look for the Raiders, but I still think the Arizonas of the world, the Jets of the world, I think there's going to be a level of, futility here that is going to be over the top. Yeah. And it would not shock me at all if one of those two teams, and there's only a handful of teams, Donnie, I believe, that have no primetime games this year on the schedule. The NFL looked at them, including the Jets, including the Cardinals. I think the Browns, and all looked at them and said, yeah, we are not going to subject the entire world to anything in a standalone game like that. One of those teams is likely going to have that number 1 pick.
Now, the Philadelphia Eagles made a big trade with A.J. Brown. You don't get better when you trade a great wide receiver away, but they did get some draft capital back. But still, very good defense here. A lot of weapons on offense. And certainly if that offensive line could stay healthy, they could do some damage. We look at their win total, Joe. 10-plus wins, which means a 10-7 season. The yes contract is 65 cents. $100 investment only pays back $154, but a big divide between 10 and 11 wins, Joe. You go 11 wins, that contract goes from 65 cents at 10 to 44 cents here at 11. Seems like they're factored in right around 10.5, Joe.
Yeah, listen, we talked about it, Donnie. I think win-win situation here for both teams. Although we are a little less uncertain. We know what he brings to the table, A.J. Brown, certainly what he's going to mean to New England. But you do have a rookie. You drafted it as A.J. Brown's replacement in Philadelphia. Yeah. You still have pretty much all the other pieces in place. It would make sense that I would expect that next step to happen for Philadelphia here this season.
And by the way, A.J. Brown, I didn't get the ball enough in Philadelphia. 4 seasons, 339 catches, 5,000 yards receiving, 32 touchdowns, Super Bowl champion, played in 2 of those, scored a touchdown in each one of those, and also a 3-time All-Pro. Not a 3-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro. Topics continue. Prediction markets edge on the early line. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like 2, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Let me understand this, Joe. Are we going to have any broadcast games on TV anymore? It's all streaming?
You got to pay to watch here, folks. That's just the way it's going to be, one way or the other. And I'm sure this will satisfy, the FCC looking into the coercion that's going on here with the NBA NFL broadcast rights? Yeah, this is all par for the course, I think.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All these idiots out there sounding off on Tiger right now. See, it's so easy to go after a guy that's hurt. He's hurt. Whether you call it whatever you want. He's got a little bit of an issue and he's going to fix. Okay? They're attacking. Attack. Why don't you all shut up and let him go do his thing? He had to leave the country to do it because of privacy? That's nauseating to me.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Joe and Erie, 4 teams are in the AFC East. 2 of them won't factor into the division standings this year. That's the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. The 2 teams looking for vying for top spot, it's the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. And the reason why we bring this up is A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. Does that change the balance of power, which you saw last year, go to New England? But apparently the chances, Joe, not the same. 58% as a chance for the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East. The New England Patriots at 38%. Is there value on the Patriots here, or is it hard to go from the Super Bowl second place to making it back to the Super Bowl, which includes winning your division?
Yeah, listen, I think if you like the Bills, right, you like the Bills not only to win the AFC East, but you're also betting them to win the AFC altogether. And I think the Ravens are in that category as well, that if you like them to win the AFC championship, then you certainly like them to win the AFC North. I think all of that is correlated. So the question is, do you trust New England or some other team in the AFC, the Chiefs? Do you trust any of them to make it, finally make a bounce back and take it to the next level? I don't exactly here. I do think the long shot value in the AFC is obviously the Chiefs, but a lot still has to be determined with the injury here to Patrick Mahomes.
This is fantastic stuff as it plays out, too, because the AFC Championship winner, so many times we take a look at sports like there's a runaway team or runaway 2 teams. That's not the case, Joe. Buffalo, 15% chance. Kansas City, 14%. Baltimore, 13%. Chargers, 12%. 2 teams at 10%. And down the line we go. But Buffalo, the slight favorite in the AFC for a team, Joe, has never gotten over the hump, it feels like, with Josh Allen to get at least into the Super Bowl here.
Yeah, and some changes there in Buffalo. So, I mean, not the same voice in the locker room anymore. And how is that going to play out? I mean, as long as you have Josh Allen under center, you're giving them a chance. But now Patrick Mahomes is back, and now you've got, what is Lamar going to bring to the table? Is he finally going to be healthy enough to finish the year with a new head coach? A lot of question marks in some of these teams.
How about these question marks, Joe, in the NFC now? We saw yesterday the trade, which went Cleveland, and Myles Garrett said, okay, you got your new home in sunny Los Angeles here, and now you're seeing a surge of the Rams price point here. They're up to 24% to win the NFC Championship, which is up 8% just from yesterday alone. Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago. Now, when we talk about the marketplace, Joe, like, hey, you might like the Rams. Well, Now you're playing a premium here, which means, Joe, do we have value on the teams behind them that are now trading at lower prices?
Yes, Donnie, because Myles Garrett made the Rams more dangerous. We know that, but he also made the entry into backing them even more expensive here. So, markets don't pay you for loving the move. They pay you for getting there before anybody else does. So unless you got in prior to the Myles Garrett trade news yesterday, it's too late. The only markets worth considering then are fading some of the other teams, Donnie, the Seattles of the world, right? Or the 49. Some of the other teams in the NFC, I'd be looking at maybe some no contracts in those markets.
How about the Dallas Cowboys? You think they're finally going to break through and get to at least an NFC championship game? $100 investment pays back $1,112 if the NFC champion is actually the Dallas Cowboys. Been since the mid-1990s since that's happened here. But also, Joe, the 2027 Pro Football Champion. Who's going to raise the Lombardi? And once again, surging in the NFC standings as well as the Super Bowl standings. It's the Los Angeles Rams on the Kalshi Marketplace, a 17% chance, almost double, Joe, the team in second place, which is Seattle in their own division, followed by Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore. For me, the Rams are so heavily favored, Joe, I probably don't look towards the NFC, but the AFC to find that value. Why? Because you got to beat the Rams. You got to play them in the Super Bowl here. Maybe that contract's already valuable in the AFC once you get to that point.
Yeah, and that's not a bad way to go. I mean, at this price point and entry for the Rams, we've pretty much lost the value. But that doesn't mean they're not going to win. Even if you wanted to bet them, Donnie, and you were going, hey, I like the Rams win it all, I just don't like the price. Well, then bet they have to be NFC West champs. They have to be the NFC champs before they win it all. So, pick your spots here or begin to fade some of the other teams that the market might have overpriced as well.
Hard to get back, as we know. We talked about that New England. You got bounces and breaks, and you didn't even have to play Bo Nix once you got to the AFC Championship game. Then they get A.J. Brown. It's only a 5% chance for the New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl next year. Boy, it's hard in the NFL. You need a lot of breaks. You need a great schedule. You need to be healthy at the same time. Teams like the Green Bay Packers, 4%. Houston, 4%. We're talking about playoff teams, Joe. 3%, 4%, and 5% here. A fun run it will be, but we're in the month of June here. Next month is July in training camps. August is then going into those preseason games. Then we find the first week of September into the regular season. We'll keep you covered on the prediction markets right here. Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all four.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi Marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Over the summer where there's drastic changes and gas drops down to $3 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon in some states, and then you have some of the price markets go down. You ride that momentum is what Joe's talking about. So if you say right now, which party will win the U.S. House, and you think it's the Republicans currently trading at 20%, you take them now, and if good press comes, that turns into 25% and 30%, then you have the option to cash out.
Prediction Markets Edge, Only on SportsGrid.